Before we start, I want to ask everybody if you wouldn't mind powering off or putting your phones on silent. I suppose John Paul is going to facilitate a conversation and the artists then are going to perform in between, so I leave everything else to them. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming to this year's TTPS. Thanks to the panelists also. They're going to have a story or a poem of like their own performance, and then we're going to have a chat in between. And they're going to be asking as a traveller and as artists what they think, what's their views on what can be done regarding mental health and spreading the word of suicide awareness for the travel community. So, yeah, I don't know, are we going to do a performance or we'll just have a chat first of all? So this is the first question I had in
performance subject.
Yeah, as a traveller, what do you think, what's your views on suicide in the community? What can we do to tackle it?
Well, just I suppose it's a ever raising issue in the community. It's one that's been highlighted for a long time. It's one that people have given their lives to dedicating for years. And I think it's something that's unfortunately not going away at the minute. And so we need to continue our work in all aspects of tackling that and having society and the community having a better approach to it and feel like we can tackle it. Just as much as we did last year, just as much as we're going to do next year. It's something that everyone needs attention to.
The whole TTPS itself and keep the message out there. Like even through what you're doing, like in the acting and the arts, like, what could you do yourselves personally maybe that could, do you know, or even involve the community in?
From through poems, through music. Yeah.
So have a look at highlight the problem.
Help people and talk to them in your own way, maybe through performance or music or something that they relate to anything.
A place where they can express themselves through poetry or writing or music without having to be too moral as well. You know, express what they're going through in something.
What I'm saying, verbally, actually do what you want.
Yeah.
There's some people out there that can't come up and speak unless they write it down or put it in a song or act. Like there's some people that can't come across the words unless they
Yes, the way of expressing it.
Yeah.
So art really would be an excellent thing for people, especially in the travelling community, for mental health.
And to maybe open up something for traveller youth in the arts and expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Some kind of clubs or something like that. I know Wicklow Mitten is working with traveller youth, you know, so maybe something like that could be brought in to help them to express themselves. We're very limited.
I think it's good as well that like through spoken word poetry or the arts or whatever it may be, it's good as well for the youth or anyone to see that they've had their own struggles or whatever, and if they can do it, I can do it. So it's a way of inspiring others through the pieces as well, to just kind of show them that there is a way out. So if they are feeling dark or anything like that, it's a way of seeing the light.
Yeah, but it's another way of getting things off their chest. Because you can act them out, you can put them on the page, you can speak about it, you can sing about it, you can put it in a poem, and that is the first. That is the first way of opening up.
I think that's good. Creativity is amazing. Creativity saved my life. But I would say there's a limit to that, in that point in all that direction, because you can go to the point where you just use it totally for that. But you need to get to the point where you can actually express yourself day to day, really. Or else you're just waiting for these big moments and windows of letting it all out.
Sometimes we need that.
That's the first step.
We've normalised talking about this stuff, and we're still saying let's talk about mental health, but no one really wants to talk about mental health. We still run away from someone we think is in a bad way. We don't want to approach them. We're still afraid, still ashamed, still have guilt, you know, and talk about like combating the traveller suicide rate. That is such a mountainous question. 11% of travellers die by suicide. It's even higher than that, but that makes it higher suicide rate per capita of many people. Look, I can't find a higher rate even in war-torn areas. So that whole thing has to be impacted in a big way. Creativity can play its part, but I mean, it shows that there's a huge societal thing going on there. And the fact that there's barely a difference between men and women in the rate that they commit suicide shows that this comes from the top, from a systemic way, not just about male, you know, toxic masculinity or oppression or whatever. You know, this is a big connective tissue that involves drug addiction, involves repression, involves oppression, all sorts of discrimination. It's a big thing, and guilt and shame. You know what I mean? So we need to talk day to day more than anything. But the arts, obviously, the arts is ideal for that. It's an ideal vehicle. We have created some of the best art this country's ever seen, and some of the best artists. But in the last 30 to 40 years, you know, when the Assimilation Project came to fruition, things have changed, and we've stopped creating art. And that needs to stop. We need to create art again, for sure.
Reconnect our philosophy and poets and writers, storytellers.
Cool, yeah. Listen, I'll leave the next question. I don't know whoever wants to go first, just regarding the reform, so it's not clear.
I suppose.
And then we'll continue on the discussion then.
So this is spoken word piece, Traveller Child. Traveller child, born to cry, blood on her hands from the pain inside. Orphan child with something to say, but nobody cares, you were born to pay. So a life lights up and is played out on the streets. Wind in her hair with service beliefs that she knew were wrong, they couldn't be right. Traveller child could see what's right, but can't get free. So she laid down and took it, she couldn't see why. She's surrounded with light in a world from before. When left alone, she cries a lonely tear, despised the face, wrecked the place. Traveller child gets high and high and higher. Traveller child died last night, found in an alley in a darkened light. People read their papers today 6 or 7 times the suicide rate. So they raise the name and hail the case. Damned traveller child without a trace. But the traveller child was born to pay and pay, get higher and higher, pay and pay.
Just regarding what comes to my mind straight away, I think that was excellent. And we're actually doing more and more is the mental health and youth challenge. So just on that, that's where we're coming from. Like, Abby's any opinions on the youth mental health?
First, I think it's just important that, like, because the work you've done, you've traveled through that, and all over the organisations that do it, you have young travellers reaching out to you. And you have someone with outstanding situations instead of just depressed or suicidal. There's actually real, diagnose their own mental health. Right away. They know what's wrong with them. And those are the ones that needed more attention, because you have people coming forward to us now that are like, I've been watching, I've been catching up with you, and this is my mental health. It's not just I'm depressed, I feel low, I feel down, help. No, they're a bit more aware of it, and they're a bit more lenient towards it prior to seeing work like this done. So it is working in a small basis. I would say continue stuff like this to get them to come to the services so that they feel like they can actually get benefit from it.
So a big thing I think with teenage suicide, because we have a high suicide rate among teenagers, this is my hunch, is that they're gay. Most of them are gay, the teenage suicide. They hit that puberty, their sexual hormones take over, and they realise they're gay. In a community that, let's face it, doesn't accept gays. Like
I would say, just regarding that there, last 4 or 5 years, the word mental health will be more acceptable. If I have a mental health issue or a family member will come out a lot quicker and say, I need a mental health issue. But if I'm saying gay, just
But let me give you an example. I did a film called Breed, a short film, where I played like a tough bare-knuckle fighting traveller man who we thought his son was gay. Now I went and screamed that in Paddy Mine. Now I know I'm always going to have to Paddy Mine who were compromised. You know the comment. But I'm banned from Paddy Mine right as well. I screamed there, and we had now Paddy Pint, organisation, NGO, whatever, they're meant to be the most liberal and forward thinking and progressive to the point where they're doing harm to our community. That's what I believe is they want us to be people that we're not. We're actually getting rid of our culture. That's a whole other conversation. But I stood around and we screened the fucking film, and the thing they wanted to talk about was Travis stereotypes around Mary Rutherford fighting. None of them wanted to talk about what it was actually about, which was he thought his son was gay. And when I brought that up, none of them would talk. And these are all people who are getting paid and working for Travers and for Travers to progress, and they wouldn't even talk about the fact that that's what it was about. And I think a big part of that is they're gay, they don't want to come out. That's why like half our suicide has to be that, at least, but especially with teenagers. And we need to normalise that and go, I want you to be alive. I don't want you to die. If you're gay, you're gay.
Just to follow up on that, in 2014, when I was in the National County Fibre, I wrote a piece about the gay problem and gay and younger gay boy was settled by the community. And I ran it with a performance with a gay artist, and a phenomenal outcome for it. It got reported out. It was so real, it was so authentic there, like you were saying, and the audience was something from the community as well. And I think coming up to me saying, like, I was waiting for something like that. We were waiting for something like that where it could be a good presentation on gayness and that.
We need to stop saying you faggot bastard when we see someone who's gay. Do you know what I mean? Like people like Huey Martin, like when he went into Big Brother, he said, I'm proud of being Irish, I'm proud of being a traveller, and I'm proud of my sexuality. Now that line alone brought Fabio Travers forward 10 years, I believe. Forward 10 years. And there's Martin being bored out there as well as in similar things. We need to stop that stuff, because if we don't want to be called pikey and knacker, why are we calling these names? Because we've achieved, we have some achieved.
I feel myself, it's something that we need to be screaming about, but you're worried that you're looking over your shoulder when you have a screen, who's listening.
Well, it's religion. It's religion, it's Catholicism. That's what it is.
There last June, 3 children killed themselves, between the ages of 12 and 14. I don't know whether it's been gay or what the cause is. But there in November, the Irish Health Minister came out and said he welcomes focus on the travellers' mental health and suicide. But there's already nearly 22 years of focus. There's already 22 years of focus on mental health. So when are we actually going to sit with members from the government to try to eliminate this problem, or even terminate it altogether?
Absolutely. And then another element of it, let's go to the systemic element. Like wherever in the world where you have a colonial project, if that's what you want to call it, you mess with a tribe or a people's identity, right? The consequences of that are dire, like the worst things ever, like the Aboriginal people, the First Nation people, whatever, Palestinian people or whatever, right? And same with people who are gay, when you don't allow them to embrace their identity. So when you look at the assimilation project that's happened with travellers, that their identity literally being ripped away from us. You look at the 63 report, which is just the culmination of any. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So if you look at that,
I think that's a fundamental problem.
Yeah.
That's the whole foundation of it.
That's the lens we receive.
What we believe in and what we stood for and what we lived for has been taken all away from us. So that is the main cause.
And then you've older travellers then who would say to you, you're not a real traveller.
Yeah.
You ever get that in your family? That's a big thing. But that's a big thing to do. And I've never seen a film about Geronimo. And Geronimo ended up on a reservation, and a little native boy comes up and he goes, Geronimo, I went and caught a fish or whatever. And he goes, you're not native, you're not a real native. And the little boy went and killed himself.
Did you ever
But that would be
how would you win the thing?
Do you know what I mean?
We never know.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to sit down and record. Do you know, sometimes the political stuff, when we get really serious about it, can just have no effect. And fighting things straight on politically, sometimes is stupid, not smart. I learned my lessons from that one. So I just thought sitting down there while we're together today, which is trying to prevent travellers from killing themselves or anybody, no matter who they are, which is a big task. And I just started thinking about your mind and the power of the human mind. And I thought, I have any stories that would demonstrate the power of the human mind and what it can do? Because it's really magical if you can manage to tune into something, into certain frequencies, you can overpower so many things. And I thought of my great-grandmother, Nan McCann. Nan McCann's father was Dick McCann. Dick McCann fought in the First World War, and he came back shell-shocked. and was a very violent man apparently. And his daughter Nan then married John Donoghue, who was my great grandfather. And John Donoghue went into a meeting that was a Republican meeting in West Belfast in 1952, and he came out of it with his bike in his hand, strolling down the street, when the RUC pulled him up and arrested him and brought him to a prison cell and killed him, right? Kicked him to death in the cell. Now the next morning, he came out to the camp, the RUC, and he ran my great grandmother Nan McCann and all her children, my grandmother Chrissy, who can't be here today, ran them all off the camp so they couldn't press cards. And he went back on the road again, and Nan did everything she could to survive with the children. Like, she ended up doing 9 months in jail for robbing spuds at the time, and she was a tough woman. She fought men in bare knuckle fights and bet them, and that's a fact. I talked to witnesses. And she reared her children to be real staunch Republicans, that's what she believed. And when Bobby Sands died in 1981, she burned her wagon to the ground with all her belongings and walked around the site for a week with her shawl. That's the kind of politics that she had and what she believed in. And I think she said as well, Bobby Sands reminded her Richie, the exact same her Richie, split image. So it's kind of a double thing going on there. But I remember in a wheelchair, kind of always coming to us and asked us to go and get her fags. You know, she wasn't allowed to smoke or to go and get her Guinness. You know, she had to give up the Guinness. And when she was dying, she was in the hospital, and people who work in hospitals do some patients, right? Nurses, doctors, whatever, and they hate travellers, and I don't blame them. And it's because if a traveller goes to the hospital, every traveller you've ever met ever is going to visit you, right? And they're going to clog up all the rooms and car parks and everything. So what happened was, Nan was there and she was dying, and she got her last rites, and the doctor said she's gone and she's going to die. And there was hundreds of people in the room, outside the room, down the hallway, in the car park outside, smoking, all that stuff. And Nan was there, and my uncle, whose name is Brother, said to the doctor, he says, can I get her a few Guinness? She hasn't drank in years, and she used to love her Guinness. And the doctor said, look son, if she's here when you get back from the off license, you're welcome to try whatever you want. So he went to the off license, and he got 6 cans of Guinness, and he got a pint glass. And he came back, and he opened the can of Guinness, and he poured the 2.4 into it, and he says, Granny, do you want a Guinness? Now, my granny, her daughter, Chrissy, came in, and she was like ashamed. You know, like she's on her deathbed, leave off the drink. And says, Granny, please, I want to get in the Guinness, let me go and do it. So she says, Granny, can I give you a Guinness? So she gave him no sign. So what he did was, he put the Guinness up to her mouth, and she took a little bit of sup of the Guinness. I went, oh. And he kept going again, another little sup of the Guinness. And another little sup of the Guinness. And eventually she drank the whole pint of Guinness. So then he went, hang on, Granny, do you want another Guinness? Obviously, you know, when you die you get another lease of life. I've seen this happen myself, you know? So I go, Granny, do you want another Guinness? And a little bit of a thing with the lips, and I'll try again. And Chris is going, don't. And I'm going, let me try again. Another Guinness. She drinks another Guinness, right? And people look around going, this is weird, like, Granny, do you want another Guinness? And she goes, yes, son. Okay. 2.4, another Guinness. About 20 minutes in, she drinks 3 Guinness. Now 3 Guinness, it's good for a woman on her deathbed. He goes, Granny, do you want another Guinness? And she goes, yeah, I'd love another Guinness, son. People go, what the fuck is going on there? Another Guinness, a 4th Guinness. Drinks the Guinness. And then he starts laughing, Granny, you don't want a 5th Guinness, do you? And she goes, yeah, son, and has anybody any old Rebel tapes? So every man in the room took on running into the car park to get their first Wolf Tone CD or tape. Someone took a stereo and whatever, brought into the room, put on the Wolf Tones, drank the 5th Guinness. Granny, do you want a 6th Guinness? And she said, yes, son, I'd love that. Can you get me up? I want to do a dance. And she got up, drank the 6th Guinness, done a dance, and lived 6 more years. 1 year for every can of Guinness. So, if that doesn't tell you about the power of the human mind, nothing will. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is David Collins, and we are trying to start off a production company called Controversial Things with music and stuff. But I'm going to say a poem here today. And it's called The Man on the TV. And it's how I feel about the governments. There's a man on the TV in a $1,000 suit. He likes to speak a lot, but he never speaks the truth. He's got people living out on the street while he stands there lying through his teeth. He can find all his money to fight all of his wars while he's killing little children and blowing up their homes. But God is good and God is great. Every man meets his maker, then he'll be put in his place. See, the man on the TV has got nothing to lose. He sits there comfortably while his children are in private schools. See, the man on the TV, he's not like me or you. The man on the TV, he's just evil. He's cruel. That's called the man on the TV.
I'm going to ask the question to the panelists regarding use of travel, how are they involved in the acts? So how can we encourage more travellers to do what you guys do, or can they involve them somehow?
That's what I'm trying to do with this production company. I'm trying to get started to bring in travellers, set of people, black, pink, purple, and green, everyone, for to help them.
Well, fight in the right direction.
Yeah, because as we already said, children and people that is suffering with mental health, the first thing that you can do is put it down on the page, and that's how we open up. That's how we open up with mental health.
That's how you do it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the first step of it. That's how we open up. You can't bring a child in and go, tell us what's happening. Put it down on the page.
I think open up competitions for youth,
Even
travel
that.
in schools.
Let's
as well.
sound, let's this, let's that.
Bring them in that way to the schools. You know, because that's another problem, we're very isolated in schools, you know, because we're so spread out now. You know, you could be the only traveller in a school. How lonely is that for a child, you know, to not be wanted, to want to be somebody else, because they're being ashamed of who they are. And there's nobody there for them.
But you need to, see, you need to give a child something to look forward. Everyone needs something to look forward. But if you're bringing in a group of young fellas, a group of girls, you're involving them in a song, you're involving them in a play, you're involving them in something like that, it's something for them to look forward and keep their minds off other things.
Just to give their voice. To stop telling them what they are good at and what they should be good at, and asking them, what are you good at? What do you like to do besides school? Or where are your talents? Yeah. Say, I know you're this and that, but I'm the same as you. So I went through what you went through. So where do you want to go in life? Where do you want to be? In sports, in music, in arts? Ask them and let them become the centre of their own story. Let them follow their dreams and give them every opportunity to do that. And you'll see that they'll come along with you. Instead of
Well,
telling them
they blossom.
So reach out to the schools, these
Reach out to the
organisations need, because we have a lot of paper where we are, you know, throughout the country. So to actually go there and reach out to them.
Them being vulnerable as well, because if they see you being vulnerable, then it allows them as well, because I find that a lot of it is, if you're coming in and it's like, as Martin was saying, is like if you're kind of dictating something, then they kind of shut themselves off more. So vulnerability and be vocal, be open, be honest, and then that breaks down the barriers for them as well.
Because their unique stands out in the
I think we set up a group of a panel that goes to school, you know, different ages, to talk to the children, to help them, it doesn't matter what age they are, you know.
That's the thing, these meetings that you bring children into, give them this to do. Children comes in and they want to have fun, they want to have a laugh. But through the arts, you bring them in, you have a laugh. And then when they feel comfortable, they will open up.
Right, can I just tell you that my biggest problem with all of this, and it's not, unfortunately it's going to be an unpopular answer, because it's not blaming the big bad man, it's blaming ourselves, which is this: we don't believe we're good enough, we discourage everybody doing something different, we tell our children, cop on to yourself, you're not going to get to do that. And when I say we, obviously not every traveller lives, so please, I know if you're out there and you support your children, that's great, but generally speaking we don't. Because we're so afraid.
Yeah, it's
We also want to protect them from failure. We want to protect them from being rejected. We want to protect them from being discriminated. And I get it, it's actually come from a place of love. but it's actually really fucking dysfunction,
Yeah.
right? And when people when travellers ask me, you know, I want to be an actor, I want to do this, or whatever they want to do, when travellers send people, working class people, whoever get in touch with me, I want to tell them all it's the same thing, right? If you're some sort of victim of oppression or whatever, discrimination, that's great to know that you are, because that should be your motivation to go forward and do what you want to do. However, do not adopt a victim mentality, because here's what happens with a victim mentality. You adopt a victim mentality, you go, why isn't this person giving me that? Why isn't this person helping me? You can't. You have to get your own help in life. You have to do your own thing in life. No one can make things magically happen for you. You have to work hard. And if you have more hurdles than, say, someone from a well-to-do background that has economic privilege, because that's the only real privilege in the world, that means that you're going to even do better, because you're going to have to sharpen your tools more, right? It's not impossible, right? It's impossible if you say it's impossible. Your biggest enemy is you. That's a fact. But I see so many travellers, I see them working class areas too, with a defeatist mentality, believing that they can't do what they want to do in life. And we have to get over that, because you can fight the system and fight the man and all that, and fail every time. But you can actually just focus on yourself, and you can do anything you want. You know, I've had loads of hurdles thrown at me, loads of things, some fair, some unfair, but I just kept going, because I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe I have the talent, so I just keep going. No one can stop you but yourself, and we have to understand that. And we have to stop blaming the boogeyman,
That's it.
because you're going to get it nowhere. Being a victim will get you nowhere.
It's not breaking the cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Breaking the cycle, breaking the normalities within the culture of they've been so guarded and being so afraid, and all it takes is one person to step out and embrace it.
Absolutely.
And then that
I mean, you went in that discussion before, at your acting class, remember?
Yeah.
You were saying the one thing, but when he was saying 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't even sit this stage. I wouldn't do nothing. Just stumble across the poetry. I knew it would always do it, but then when I went to that acting class, I wouldn't have even gone to that acting class. But when my father died, I says, whatever thing comes my way, I'm just going to do. I don't really care what people say about me anymore. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do and what I can do.
So this is the outcome we need the whole community to have. It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, again, what he's talking about there, like get in those uncomfortable places.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get anywhere in life unless you get into an uncomfortable position.
Exactly.
If you want to run around and put your head in the sand like an ostrich, good luck. You're not going to have a great life. You're going to be 60, 7 years of age if you're lucky enough, because 50% of travellers die by 39, which means for 19-year-olds, 50% of 19-year-olds are middle age among travellers. So if you even live to that age, you're just going to live to a 70-year-old person with nothing but regrets and being a big victim on your back.
Yeah.
Does that sound good to anybody? Jesus Christ, please kill me.
It's all the part of whole heart.
That's it. Yeah.
She says breaking the norm.
So my name is Judy O'Reilly, and this is my poem. I didn't know I was performing in a church, just to let you know that. Sisters through the veil. I am the Alice in Wonderland. I am the sweet nectar of honey's kiss. I am the magic within. I am the fairy dust. I am the lust that waits for no desire. I am the nymph that swims in the spring water. I am the gift of night. I am the secret of secrets. I am everything between worlds. I am what I am. I am you, sister. I am the siren that calls from beneath the ocean's depth. I am that soul that screams to be free from beneath its human flesh. I am magical at one glance, but I am so much more than that. I am your weakness. I am your desire that sets you mad. I am the wonder of what ifs. I am the lily of the valley. I am you, sister. I am the magic and the fire. I am what was and no longer is. I am the smoke of the steaming ash. I am the wind that blows in. I am the flowers beneath your feet. I am the dawn of morning. I am the sweet tasting sweat of passion. I am everything man and woman's hearts desire. I am free, I am magic, I am me. I am you, sister. I am the pain within the ocean. I am the burning of the earth. I am the journey of the wind. I am the breath you take. I am the sisters that came before me. I am the burning of the flesh. I am the ash of woman. I am the maiden, the mother, the crow. I am the bright of the night that sparkles down from heaven. I am the womb between worlds. I am woman.
I'm the heart that was left whole after it was broken. I'm the persecuted. I'm the woman of the night. I'm the angel of heaven. I'm you, sister. I'm the raped. I'm the forgotten. I'm the abused. I'm the lonely. I'm the silent tear that falls at night. See, sister, I'm you. I'm the scandal between lips. I'm the lover. I'm the hated. I'm the beauty. I'm the sinner. I'm the rose. I am you, sister. I'm the witch of old. I'm the holy woman of the north. I am the devil. I am God. I'm all things to all people. But to you, sister, I am you, somewhere among the broken line of reality. Sorry.
That was amazing.
Where does it come from?
My heart.
I suppose for me, it sounds like you definitely you feel like you belong.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, just in a whole, like, so I don't know, like, comes across any rest of the guys who want to jump.
No, she sounds a bit sick.
I think it's just one place that we're all connected.
Yeah.
And we have to be proud of
Yeah.
who we are. Whether we're a man or a woman, we go through all of the same things. And that's the whole reference. I am you among the murky line of reality. You know? So what somebody else goes through, whether you're settler or you're a traveller, you've gone through something the same. It's different. But we all carry pain. Pain cannot be measured. Because when you're in pain, you cry. You know, you can't measure pain. So this is what this is about. You know, it's about being full of yourself.
Yeah.
When you're going through tremendous pain and suffering. It's about touching those sides of yourself that you were told who you are and embracing them and saying, okay, if I'm going to be the devil, God, I'm going to be a good one. You know, I'm going to do it all. So it's just about connection. To each and every one of us.
So, my name is Martin Mahan, and I'm going to be doing a piece called Identity, and it's a bit different. It's like a little conversation between two people about opinions in 21st century Ireland. So, John will be my assistant for that. One John. So, this is Identity. John.
Hello. I can't hear you. Hello?
Oh, hello. I can hear you. You can't hear what? Hello. My name is... Well, does it really matter? Are you actually interested? Well, before I tell you, they always say, to get to the heart of the story, you have to go back to the beginning. But where is that? Where is the beginning? Because for a beginning, things have to change and move forward. What if there is no beginning, no middle, and no end? And this is just permanent time, always time, now, then, forever. And the way and the state of things are now are just for now. Because this is the only beginning and ending that I've ever known. So how do you say you go back and find out when this is how our community has always had it? It's never been any different through the generations and changes of time. So where's the beginning, where's the middle, and where's the end? Where does our identity stand? We've never had an identity since this all started. My identity never mattered to those who only ever mattered to me, as a brand, as though we were something people abandoned by their own legion, left by the wayside. And if that's what you want to say, then I'm from that, then I'm not starting this again. I'll stand up for who I am, but I don't need a lecture from someone who doesn't understand us.
I know about you, your community. You feel isolated, you feel you're better than everyone, don't you? You feel entitled to something, you're all the same.
We feel entitled to be treated equally as we've never had it. The amount of situation I have seen us being treated wrongly or different for one particular reason, and always wondered why. Why? Those people in those scenarios that standing in my head never did anything wrong. So why did that happen? I'll tell you why. Just pure dislike. Absolute dislike for nothing, and it's been passed down from a torch to a torch, from generation to generation, as though we never had anything to say. And how could you say that though? That we are in ways parts of the foundation of this land? Because every part of the history of this land has been associated with my culture, from matchmaking to music. Every connection I've ever had to the ideology of Irish history has been associated with traveller history. So this is something that I want passed down. A generation passing down what time we have and always had a place on this land. We've always had a place on this land, and our identity was always questioned, but we've always had a fundamental part in the groundbreaking culture. So, and my great-grandfather was arrested for these rights all those years ago as well, just like it's happening to us now.
Lies, downright lies. And I guess, and let it give us a good foot on the ground. Really, we're all trying to vanish you back. So we should have.
You sound like the same as them, nothing new, nothing intellectual to say. We survived on merit and luck for years, while our whole identity was never in question. Though times have changed, their opinions have never changed. So when you move forward and you start to question, where do I belong here? How do I belong? How does what I say and my community, how is that relevant moving forward? What is my identity going into 2023? What is the traveller's identity going into 2023? And what I would say is, their identity is just the same as your mother's, as your father's, as their grandsons, as their grandparents, whether it's 100 years ago, whether it be in 200 years now, or whether it be in 50 years. The identity and the core of what we are and our values and principles will never change. So the question you asked me, what is my identity? My identity is that I'm a traveller, I'm a human, and that I want to live and I care about the arts. And that's my answer. Thank you very much.
We're just going to finish off with one more quote from Samantha's info. Yeah, one more, and then we're going to talk about Martin said.
Yeah, so I didn't introduce myself before. I'm Samantha Joyce, and this is a poem that I just recently wrote. It's called Not. I feel like I've lived it all while not having lived at all. At this age, I should not be filled with such a rage. I should not be afraid to be me. Why can't I be carefree and be able to live happily? And not to have to bear this anxiety inside of me, consuming me, taking me away from my reality. I definitely have reached a point beyond insanity. Thank you.
Well, Garen's taking for life, man.
It's just regarding Martin as well. Yeah, just what the reason we're here, what hit me when you were speaking was, since 21st century, is where we're at, and the stats, where we're at with mental health, suicide rates. And basically, what are we going or can do going forward? That's what I got from your and I thought that was the best, that's what I heard from you guys over here, and you put the forward to that.
Well, it was just a rough presentation of it. It's just about identity and how you lose yourself and who you are by outlining situations for people in your life, jobs, scenarios, work. And those things start to affect you, start to lose your identity as time goes by. Some people don't even realize it because it's actually said to them, you actually forgotten who you are.
Yeah.
The people who go past their heads for years, you actually say. And then when you say it, it's step back and you actually change. Some people have got so far off, it's actually have to bring them back. That was the story of someone who was just about to go back, but was caught up and sick of how society has seen him, and seen his family, and stuff like that. So he was like a rebel, and he was full of anger and passion. So that's many fellow people as well that I've come. So it's just like an insight, a small little look into how many conversations are, and how this comes to realization of their place and the stats in Ireland.
JP, can I just say sometimes about, you know, how we approach mental health and our campaigns that we make about mental health and stuff, right? Now, I'm someone who struggles with smoking. I'm often this year so far, right? It's very hard, right? I want to smoke every moment of the day. Now, when I see a smoking ad where someone who really has cancer is telling me that they're dying now because of smokes, I want to smoke straight away. It's not telling me, I want to straight. I've often watched that man who later on dies, it tells you at the end, and he died 6 months later, and I went straight to the garage and bought a pack of fags and smoked it, and it's been the best smoke I ever had in my life. Right? That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. So when we see these campaigns sometimes that Rams do, and you know, and it's Jesus, I'm not criticising anybody while I am criticising, but you know, they're looking down the camera and you know, the Rams suicide rate is 11%, they're all dying from suicide, and I want to kill myself after watching the video. Right? It's the same thing as the fags. Do you know, like, what the Irish do great, right? We shine a light into the darkness, right? And I think we need a more approach about that thing, like, shine the light in the dark, bring it across. Travellers are the funniest people I ever met, like, a group of people. Like, you meet Travellers, you're constantly laughing, we just tell you, we find each other telling stories. When you meet a Traveller down the road, you're straight away to tell a story, and he wants to tell you his story. Like, you know what I mean? And we need to bring that into the organisational structure, into a different way, bring out the best in who we are, rather than look down the lens and cite some fucking statistics that who gives a bollocks about really. It's not going to help us. You know what I mean? So shine the light in the fucking dark. I think we need to do that. And start laughing and telling fucking stories. I'm not making sending people out to be Nazis on the place. Like, welcome to sending people. Thank you all for being there. Welcome to all these sending people. You're lovely people. And we are, because we're here for a day. So instead of alienating down sending people, let's all come together as mates. We're all Irish anyway, or European, or world people, or global people. We're all human, so it's all coming together. But the point is, sometimes you have to laugh through things and not, you know, what's on, you know, it gets very serious. You know, on the sides of this, they just go, oh God, you actually want to kill yourself. So, you know, we need to look at the strategies. You know, that's what I think. Yeah, if you don't laugh, you don't. Yeah, it's good to laugh at that. And if we can fucking talk about things through laughter and that stuff, and laugh about shit.
Yeah, but
Like,
the
you know,
more we laugh at ourselves, the less effect other people can have on it. Because we're already doing it for ourselves, so if someone tries to attack us, we can just laugh it off, because it's not that we haven't heard or
That's
said
what Travelers
ourselves.
do it anyway, don't they? Oh, your man died. Sure, it was.
Joe asked me, was I going to kill myself, right? Now, I wouldn't say, yeah, I'm going to kill myself, but I get an indication that I was. And Joe said, I'm begging and asking you to kill yourself, I can't afford to bury yourself. That's what you want to be laughing at. You want to laugh at it. And I thought, oh shit, I wouldn't put that on burnout, which is the shame. The shame. Before I grew up with the other day, they're doing 19, I said, I'm fucking 19 over here, I can't afford to marry you. You know what I mean? Like, you need to laugh at this shit and not, you know. I think that's fucking terrible.
I suppose make light of the situation. It's a very heavy topic, and it is affecting the community and the community we belong to.
You know what I mean?
It's laughing at it somehow.
You have to laugh at it.
It's find a way to laugh at it.
Yeah. Just go and beg lads and don't kill yourself.
Along with tackling the issue. Listen, I want to thank Samantha, John, Dave, Julie, and Martin for taking part in the discussion here. I know the day is not finishing yet. We still have the art exhibition and the music starting later on. So, listen, we're all here for one reason: mental health, and the ways, all different types of ways that affects the community. So I really want to thank us all.
Thanks for coming. Thanks everybody.
Yeah, it's more exposure like this to the community is what we need, so because the community out there is something, you know. It's a start. We can bring the experience we have here. We can bring those back to the community.
And John Paul, what if an send person walks into your science house that they need help? Will you help them?
Definitely.
Yes, so send people to your
And send
science
people.
house. They'll help them. Bring their 01 number, their 08 number, or whatever. Even just put on a shitty traveller accent. And they think, man, they can
Definitely, yeah. No, doors We're gonna have one closing poll, guys, before we go. We're gonna off the script.
I'm gonna cold. Do you want to do it? No. You'll be better cold reading that. I'm cold reading a poem by my granny, who has a lot of poems and very talented woman. Just to give you an idea of what kind of woman she is. She's a gas woman. I thought she was a witch until I was about 15. So genuinely, you'd think like she'd tell you she's a witch. And I remember me and my brother Joe were blackguarding my mummy. And my mummy was crying and she went, whatever. And Chrissy came in and we didn't have electric, like we'd only have electric a few nights a week if you were lucky. Put on one telly or whatever, right? You'd have candles. And it was actually lovely, it was lovely. You'd have candles, lighting up the trailer, lighting up the whole camp. Button, you sorted out again, Megan Ashley. So anyway, she came in one time and she says, "You're making your mommy cry, you're blackguarding."
She doesn't talk.
No, that's why it's not. In my mind she talks, did you ever hear of a caricature? But anyway, so she said to me and John, "You're making your mommy, you're awful blackguards, aren't you? And you're blackguard like your daddy, aren't you?" So we were afraid of her life, right? We were, Chrissy, no, we just seen the serious look in her eyes, like we knew she was going to do something. But she was smoking a fag, and she says, "You know only witches can smoke to the very end without dipping the dash, don't you?" And she smoked it to the very end. And we said, "Chrissy, please, no, we don't know what she was going to do, like." She said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do then, will I?" No. "I'm going to cut you up in a million pieces. I'm going to put you into a black bag. I'm going to put you over me room. And I'm going to bring you all the way to the Liffey and show you in the Liffey and no one will ever know if you're black and your mommy again." Chrissy, no! So that's Chrissy for you. But she's a travel activist for 50 years, one of the first poet, storyteller, mad woman. That's why I followed. And I'm going to read the poem now for the first time.
She was trying to find a poem, John, that she said that you could read.
That I can read, but she says men can't read poetry. The voices is too tough. You need a soft woman to do it. So she's asking me to do it now, but she normally tells me not to fucking read a poetry.
Yeah, you're only allowed, that's the only one.
She doesn't allow me to read a poetry. Your voice is too tough. But alright, is it? So this is called Carry Your Cross by Christina Ward. Go, travellers, go. Carry your cross. It's all we're going to give you. A present from birth, surely meant to last. A gift you will remember. In the wet fields, when you were towed around. When you get a bad cough from the damp ground. And the doctor turns you out. Go, travellers, go. Bear your cross. It's all we're going to give you. A present from birth, surely meant to last. A gift you will remember. When you're told, move you dirty knackers. Our land. Get your dirty caravans away from here. Go, travellers, go. Carry your cross. It's all we're going to give you. A present from birth, surely meant to last. A gift you will remember. When you're told in a public bar, your type of people are not wanted here. Go, travellers, go. Leave the cross behind. A present from the Irish until you die. Christina Ward.